Hi everyone, my name is Tief and welcome back to the channel, and welcome to a bit of a different video. Today I'm going to be showing you all the process behind making my third OOAK doll customization project. Now, if you're not familiar with doll customizing, allow me to give you a brief introduction. Doll customizing is a creative hobby in which an artist takes a pre-existing doll base, or sometimes makes their own, and transforms it into a new, original, and unique work of art that is one of a kind, or OOAK. The doll you're seeing on screen right now is my first ever customization, Angel. I've been following the works of various professional doll customizers over the past 2 years or so, and if you're looking for a fuller picture of just how far some dolls can be taken, I would recommend checking out some creators here on YouTube, including Delightful, Moonlight Jewel, Enchantarium, Doll Mill, and Hextian, to name just a few. They're all amazing creators and have truly inspired me with their works, even if I'm just a newcomer to the hobby. With that in mind, a disclaimer to those of you who are well versed in doll customization. I am very much an amateur and I'm still learning a lot of the basics. I mean, this doll was my first time using a sealant actually, so please be patient with me. Without further ado, let's dive right into the project. I start by looking over the two dolls I have in my stock box, Draculora on the left and Frankie Stein on the right. Both of these dolls are used, and you can tell they've been through a lot. They have some staining and yellowing of the vinyl on their faces, and poor Frankie Stein here can't even bend her right arm. That being said, these face molds and sculpting are beautiful, and you can tell that they put a lot of effort into these early generations of Monster High dolls. In the end, I decided to go with Frankie Stein since her face mold fits what I'm going for with my character. Let's remove her factory paint and hair in preparation for her face-up. Using a Q-tip soaked in 100% acetone nail polish remover, I use scooping and sweeping motions to clear away the paint and glitter on her face. I go back in afterwards with an acetone-soaked tissue to get into all the crevices and make sure everything is clean. I'm happy to report that a lot of the staining was actually removed with acetone alone, so there won't be as much I need to patch up with paint. Next, let's remove her hair. I give the long part a whack with my scissors and then go back in to give her a buzz cut. While I was chopping off her hair though, I noticed that it felt pretty sticky. I have a suspicion why this is the case, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. While I'm here, let's remove these staples/stitches that are on her body. Now, these are factory paint, so you could use acetone, but it does not mix well with plastic and actually causes it to melt sometimes. So to avoid this, I'm using emery boards and sanding blocks to instead shave away these paints. Now let's remove her neck stud things. I thought this would be just a plastic armature that's embedded in her neck and easy to pull out, kinda like the earrings that they have, but it was this flexible string-like structure instead that simply refused to be pulled out. I guess these are really made to last. I decided to instead give it a quick snip close to the neck with my scissors. Now let's remove her head. I prepared boiling water and then dumped the doll's head in it for 15 to 30 seconds to give time for the vinyl to soften. Then, using a towel to protect my hand, I pull it free from the neck peg. Lastly, let's give her a wash with warm soapy water to clear her up and get her ready. Now it's time for the most gross but also most satisfying step, removing the hair plugs. These chains of plugs that are inside the head can be removed by scraping a tool along the inside and pulling them free. I'm using tweezers here. Once you've pulled these chains, you can then go back in through the neck hole and pull them out from there. I mentioned earlier that the hair felt sticky, and you can see why. There's a lot of glue being pulled free here. I had this happen with my first doll, Angel, and I think it's because of improper storage. It causes the glue in the head to melt and become these weird, huge chunks. Gross. I took extra care to remove all the glue and hair plugs and ensure that she was clean. I also washed her with soap and water one more time after this to get rid of the stickiness. I'm not planning to give her a reroot, so I'll just reunite her head with her neck now, and we can seal her with Mr. Super Clear. I'm using the UV cut flat version. Don't forget to wear a mask to protect yourself. I hold her 1 foot away from me and spray liberally across the face and the body. I gave her body 1 coat and her face 3. Make sure to wait at least 30 minutes between coats. I waited for an hour. Let's begin working on her face up. Using a watercolor pencil in a shade of green that closely matches her skin, I start sketching out my ideas for her eyebrows, eyes, and mouth. I want this character to have a bit of a stern expression, so I'm going to be turning the corners of her mouth down a little bit to be less of a smile. I gave her these angry eyebrows initially, but I didn't like how they looked, so we'll be fixing those after. Remember that you can fix any mistakes you make using an eraser. I also took the time to decide what hair color I wanted to give her here, since that's the accent color we'll be using on her face, and the color we'll be painting her scalp a little bit later. When I'm satisfied with my sketch, I go back in with dark blues and greens to make everything a little more pronounced.
You can have it.
When the colors stop building, give her another spray with Mr. Super Clear. Think of it like making a new layer in Photoshop. Next, to build up color a little bit more, I'm going to be lifting pigment directly from my watercolor pencils using my paintbrushes. Since these are watercolor pencils, you can activate them with water and use that to build up color, kind of like you're painting, as opposed to just drawing with the pencils themselves. You can also slightly dampen the watercolor pencils and draw directly on for stronger colors. This is what I'm doing here. I've darkened her eyebrows, eyelashes, lips, and eyes. I also decided to give her freckles, and I'm going to be giving her heterochromia down the line because I decided I liked the blue and green mismatched look. Before we move on to using acrylic paint, I decided to give her two tattoos, one on her leg and one on her chest. Using real-life tattoo pictures as references, I sketched these out in green, and now I'm coming back in with black to finish them out. I thought it would be fun to have a geometric tattoo on her leg and an organic tattoo on her chest, kinda like an opposites attract sort of thing. We'll just seal her one more time, and now we can move on to acrylic paint. For this project, I'm going to be using these nail art brushes. As you can see, they're a lot smaller than my regular brushes, which makes them perfect for fine detail. The first thing we're going to do is paint her scalp. As you can see, I've set it up to be split down the middle to have a cool two-tone effect. Now I'm just going back over my lines to make them stand out more and look more smooth. I fill in her eyes, her eyelashes, eyebrows, lips, everything that we went over with pencil originally. I originally wanted to give her these dark freckles, but I didn't like how strong they were, so we're going to be switching them out for a mint color soon. I like this mint color so much, I decided to make her green eye this color as well. Just a few more details on the eyes, like eye shines and pupils, and she's almost done. I also ended up painting her nails on her hands and toes just for a little bit of extra detail. We'll just seal her 3 more times with MSC and she's ready for her hair and clothes. Next, let's focus on making her hair. I'm using Mazekito's hair weft tutorial, which I'll link in the description box below. All the materials you see pictured are what we'll need. First, I tie off the hair and attach it to this hanger. Then, using a pet brush, I carefully comb it until the acrylic yarn becomes soft and fluffy. Then, I can iron it using a flat iron to get it to be nice and straight. Now, using tinfoil or parchment paper, use some Elmer's glue on your hair to make it into the weft shape. Leave these to dry overnight. Once Once your wefts have fully dried, you can peel them away carefully from your tinfoil or parchment paper and trim off any excess glue. I made a bunch of wefts in both dark and light blue, as well as a couple with both for a good transition. I don't have a doll stand, so I guess this will do? To glue the hair to the head, carefully measure out and cut a weft to size, and then glue it in the location you want using Elmer's glue. You can also use super glue or hot glue, but those are a bit more finicky, so I'm just using regular Elmer's glue for this. Once I finish one side, I move on to the other. If you want a more natural and realistic flow to the hair on the head, you'll probably want to work around the head instead of going in parts like this. But since I'm going to be putting her hair in pigtails, this works fine for what I'm doing. Now let's make her part. To do this, add some glue, and then place a weft facing the wrong direction. Once the glue has dried a little bit, flip your weft over, and voila! A nice clean part. Off camera, I added the other half of her part as well as bangs. Once your wefts are in place, you can trim them using regular scissors. I tie her hair in place with black ribbons. Now we can move on to her clothes. I prepared these items from various things I had in my stock box. I'm focusing on a black and blue palette with some silver and gold accents. I also have this scrap piece of fabric that's in both blue and gold, which makes a really cool shawl cape thing for her. And I have these black devil horns as a statement piece for her head. We just need to dress her up, and she's all ready. I'm super proud of how this doll came out. She's definitely one of my new favorites. I think I'm gonna name her Lilith, after the demoness. It suits her, I think. I think Lilith is going to get along great with her sisters, and maybe the doll family will grow even bigger someday. But for now, thank you all so much for following along with this process video. Toss a like to your tiefling if you enjoyed this and want to see more. But for now, I'll see you guys next time. Bye everyone!